Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and I've been working on my HPI Sprint 2 for quite some time. That is the Get My Drift series of different videos to help improve your Sprint 2 and the drifting community out there. So this particular video is going to be covering countersteer and how to obtain countersteer in your Sprint 2. Now you may ask yourself, what the hell is countersteer? Well, it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with steering, but it has to do with the way your wheels turn. Now, there's a couple of ways to obtain countersteer, and it's basically to overdrive the rear wheels. In other words, make these spin faster than the front ones, or underdrive the front ones to where these will spin slower than the rear ones. So, in this case, I have went ahead and done both. I have turned the front wheels and over turned the rears, so it's going to give you a good ratio for obtaining a very good drift and keeping the drift, and once you're done with the drift, changing directions and not spinning out. So let's get on to the exact parts. Now, the thing that I found in the great RC communities out there is everyone talks about countersteer for the Sprint 2, but no one actually shows you how to do it. So I'm here to show you guys exactly the parts you need, exactly how to do it, and it's going to cost you maybe like 20, 25 bucks or so, depending on where you get the actual parts from. So let's get on to explaining this thing, and we'll kind of go from there. So now, if you're going straight from a stock Sprint 2 to a countersteer setup, you may not get all of the benefits from the countersteer. So there's other things in the series that you may want to check out, and definitely check out the playlist in the video description down below. Along with the parts, I will have links to each one of these parts in the video description, so you can check that out too. So let's get on to how this thing looks and what parts you actually need. So the big topic of conversation is going to be this center pulley right here, and this is going to be the center pulley that kind of pulls right off of that spur gear. Now, traditionally on a Sprint 2, you have two 15-tooth pulleys right there that are turning those belts. So to underdrive the front, I went with a 12-tooth pinion. And to overdrive the rear, this is actually a 21-tooth pinion. So 12 going towards the front, 21 going to the rear. Now, with that, you're going to ask yourself, well, what about belt tension? Well, you will have to purchase a new belt for the rear. Now, the rear will end up taking a little bit bigger belt than the 174 millimeter stock belt. Now, the front one, as far as how I'm tensioning the front one, because you're using a smaller gear now, you're basically going to be doing kind of a slight mod here, and it's actually very, very easy to do. Now, you're going to see my stock tensioner right there. All I did was flip it around, put the actual deal right there, screw that in with the stock screw, and that gives me my tension on my front belt. So pretty cool little mod there. I actually sat there for a good hour or so trying to figure out how to mod another tensioner, and I just used the existing parts I had already. So you're going to see that that thing goes down pretty far. I have great tension right now on my front. The rear one is perfectly tensioned by that replacement one. Let's get on to what parts you need. So the first part that you're going to need, this is going to be a 21 tooth. This is going to be for the rear. I got this from 3 Racing, actually from asiatees.com. You can check those guys out. That'll be in the video description. This is actually off of one of their Sakura models, I believe. So 21 tooth pulley, that's going to be going towards the rear. Next one you're going to need is a 12 tooth. This is going to be going towards the front. And of course, I will have links in the video description for you guys. And then the belt, all you're going to need is a rear belt. And instead of the 174, which is stock, I got this Boom Racing one here. This is a 180 millimeter belt. 4-4 is going to be 4 millimeters wide. So all in all, this gave me a great countersteer setup. I'm able to obtain the drift, keep the drift, and then once I'm done with the drift, get out of the drift and not spin out. So pretty cool setup. I can't wait to get some more testing and actually shoot some video of this thing. I'm kind of nearing the end of the Get My Drift series. The last thing I have to do is a couple of parts are still flowing in, and then I'm thinking about doing a front motor conversion, so stay tuned for that. But that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this full explanation of how to obtain countersteer on an HPI Sprint 2. I've definitely had fun getting this information to you guys, and hopefully you can share this with everyone else out there. So don't forget to share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and that's about it. Any comments, questions on down below, and as always, hit that like button and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.